Welcome to Zinedu classes. I am Vicky Maheshwari and I will be taking your arithmetic progression. So we have come across lots of sequences in our lives. So arithmetic progressions are kind of a different sequences which follows a particular pattern. So let us start by pressing the button so that we can begin our class. So what is an arithmetic progression? So the sequences in which difference of any two terms is a constant is called an AP. So a sequence in which difference of any two consecutive terms, I'm using a word directional. That means if I'm moving from first to second, second to third, third to fourth term, or if I'm moving from fourth to third, third to second, or second to first term, so the difference of two consecutive terms has to be a constant. It has to be a constant. That means for between difference of two terms, there has to be a certain common difference that we'll be using. So let us take an example how we can see it. So we have a ladder over here. So we can see a ball which will be climbing 2 steps in every case. It will be climbing 2 steps in every case. So in the first case, the ball is climbing a single step. In the second case, the ball is climbing 3 steps. In the third case, the ball is climbing 5 steps. In the fourth case, the ball is climbing 7 steps. So what does that mean? That every step has been added with 2 more steps. Every step has been added with 2 more steps. So that means it is certain kind of a sequence of 1, 3, 5 and 7. It is certain kind of a sequence in which we are following 1, 3, 5 and 7. So that means it is an example of an AP in which the common difference between two terms is 2. Common difference or the constant difference that we are talking about has to be 2 in this particular case. So let us take another example. So there is a shark over here which will be jumping down the track with a difference of 3. So we can see earlier we were having 11 steps, then we had 8 steps, then we have 5 and then we had 2. So we can easily say that the constant difference between two jumps is of 3 units. So that means this sequence of 11, 8, 5 and 2 and so on will form an AP. Will form an AP. So a journal AP can be given as A plus D, A plus 2D and A plus 3D and so on. So likewise we can see over here. So we have A over here and if I add D, so it will be A plus D. So this will be our next term. If I add another D to the second case, if I add another D to the second term, so we will have A plus 2D. So that means A is constant all throughout and we are adding D in all the next consecutive terms. So that means A plus D, A plus 2D, A plus 3D, A plus 4D and likewise it will keep on going. So that means a journal AP can be written as A plus D, A plus 2D, A plus 3D. So over here the constant difference is called the common difference and is denoted by D. The constant difference is called the common difference and is denoted by D, where Tn minus 1 is a constant. So what does this mean? Tn minus 1. So supposingly if I am talking out for any series, so let us say that series has 10 terms. That series has 10 terms. So what I mean to say is T5 minus T4, or I can say T10 minus T9, they will be equal to the common difference. They will be equal to the common difference. And over here the first term is denoted by A. The first term in general is denoted by A. So moving ahead. So now we will talk about the nth term. So since we have seen a journal AP, how does it will move? So now if I need to find, supposingly I have a finite series with me and I need to find its nth term. So supposingly I ask you for a series, let us say 2, 5, 8, 11 and so on, just tell me the 100th term or tell me the 20th term. So in that case, you need to do a lots of calculation if you are not able to grab the formula from this. So let us try to make it simple. Let us try to bring out a formula with us so that we are able to solve these questions in a very quick seconds. So first term. So first term, as we have seen, is denoted by A, or I can say A 1 plus 1 minus 1 into D. So in the figure we had earlier seen that A plus D was happening, right, in the Smiley's case. So now we have A plus of 0D. In the second term we had A plus 1D. We had A plus 1D. So that means I can write it as A plus 2 minus 1 into D. Likewise, for the third term I got A plus 2D. So that means we can write it as A plus 3 minus 1 into D. So that means they are following a pattern. They are following a pattern. So supposingly if I say 10th term, so what does 10th term will mean? A plus 9D, a D less than the required term. So I can write it as A plus 10 minus 1 into D, right? So therefore, if I need to write down the nth term, so it is generally represented by T of n or small a of n, we can also write it down. So T of n will be given by A plus n minus 1 into D. So if I am talking about second term supposingly, so if I put the value of n as 2, so we'll get A plus 2 minus 1 into D, and we can verify it from the upward. So A plus 2 minus 1 into D, that will be A plus D. So that would be our second term. So supposingly if I am saying we need to now, for a given sequence, we need to find its 100th term. So what we need to do is just replace the value of n by 100. So T100 will be given by A plus 100 minus 1 into D, or I can say A plus 99D. So this is how we can get the nth term of an AP. So let's have an example. So we have an example which says for an AP 3, 7, 11 and 15, find its 11th term. So first of all, we need to write down few things. So can I say for this case A is 3, right? That is the first term. What would be the common difference? That means second term minus first term, or I can say third term minus the second term. So that would be 4, and which is a constant. And now we need to find the 11th term. So we need to find the 11th term. So using this formula, just replace the value of n by 11. So we will have A plus 11 minus 1 into D. So that is A plus 10D. So now substitute the values of A and D from the above. So we will have 3 plus 10 into 4. So that will be equal to 3 plus of 40, and we will get 43 as our result. So I hope we are able to make it clear that how we have formed the formula of nth term of AP, and how we will be solving these types of questions in which the question requires to find any term of the given sequence. So moving ahead, so let's have another examples in which we need to apply our basically, since we have gone through the concept, so now we just need to apply the concept aptitude of our mind. So let us find the 19th term of this given AP. So in this first term is given by minus of 8. Common difference will be given by second term minus the first term. So that will be minus 14 plus of 8. So that would be minus of 6. So now we have D as negative. So now we need to find the 19th term. So that would be given by A plus 19 minus 1 into D. So A is minus 8 over here. This would be 18 into minus of 6. So this is minus 8 plus minus of 108. So this would be minus 8 minus 108. So that would become minus of 116. So for this case, for this given sequence, 19th term of the AP will be minus 116. So I hope this solves your query regarding the types of questions in which we need to find the nth term or the given number of term. Let's move to different set of questions. So it says which term of the AP is its first negative term. So since we can see it's a decreasing AP, it's a decreasing AP. How can I say it's a decreasing AP? Because we are going in the decreasing order, 29, then 27, then 25, and then so on. So we are going in a decreasing manner. So that means this is only possible when the common difference between the two terms is negative, right? So common difference between two terms is minus of 2, then again minus of 2, and then so on. So that means we have a AP with us which is a decreasing AP, in which we have the value of A with us as 29. Common difference will be 27 minus of 29, so that would be minus of 2. And now we need to find the first negative term. So I do not know which term or what number will be the first negative term of this AP. So what I need to do is, let us go according to the question. The question says find its first negative term. So for first negative term, can I also say Tn is less than 0? Since I do not know, so I am assuming that there would be a nth term that would be less than 0, because we are here to find the negative term, and less than 0 means a term which is negative. And we need to make sure that value of n has to be a positive integer as well. Value of n has to be a positive integer. N has to be a positive integer, right? Because n represents a number of terms, so that has to be a positive integer. So let us write down the formula, that is a plus, I'm using capital N over here, into d should be less than 0. So now substitute the values of a and d. So we'll get 29 plus n minus 1 into minus of 2 being less than 0. So we will have 29 minus 2n plus 2 being less than 0. So we will have 31 minus of 2n being less than 0. So we have reached a step. So if I subtract 31, from both the sides, because this is a case of an inequality, so we need to subtract 31 from both the sides. So we will get minus of 2n less than minus of 31. So in case of an inequality, now if I multiply with a negative sign, if I multiply both the sides by minus 1, the inequality gets reversed. So that means if I multiply it by minus of 1, we will get 2n greater than 31. So that means we are getting n, just a second. So we are getting n greater than 31 by 2. And what is 31 by 2? 31 by 2 is 15.5. So that means n should be greater than 15.5. And as quoted earlier, n has to be a positive integer. So that means an integer greater than 15.5. So what will be the value of that term? That would mean that n will be equal to 16. This would mean n would be equal to 16. And now we need to find out, it's not given in the question, it just says which term of the AP is its first negative term. So we can say 16th term of this given sequence will be the first negative term. Now suppose the question also adds up like find the first negative term as well. There are two questions in this case now. Find its first negative term, which term of the AP is its first negative term, and then find that term as well. So that means we just need to solve for t of 16. So that would be a plus 16 minus 1 into d. So what is a over here? A we have 29. A we have 29 plus 15 into D, that is minus of 2. So this would be equal to 29 minus of 30, so that would be equal to minus 1. So that means 16th term of this given sequence will be the first negative term, and that first negative term has the value as minus 1, right? So is that clear? So moving ahead, now we need to find the sum of n terms of an AP. So supposingly we have an AP which is a finite term, which has the finite number of terms, and now we need to find the sum of those terms. That means whatever the sequence we have, we need to find the sum of those terms. So let's go with the journal form of an AP that we have used earlier, that is A plus D, A plus 2D. So now what we need to do is we need to find the sum of A plus D, A plus 2D, A plus 3D, and up till, since we are talking about nth term, so we can represent nth term as A plus n minus 1 into D, right? So I'm denoting the sum of the sequence as S of n, and it says A plus D, A plus 2D plus A, second last term would be A plus n minus 2 into D, and the last term would be A plus n minus 1 into D. So now what I'm doing is I will be reversing this sequence. I will be reversing this sequence. So if I write the last term in the first place, will there be any change in the system? No, because addition is associative. So if I write this second last term on the second place, again it won't make the difference. So what I'm doing is I will be reversing down this equation. So these are n terms, right? So we will be reversing down this equation now. So the last terms comes at the first place now, second last at the second place, and so on, and the first term of the above equation comes at the last place. Okay, so now I will be adding them up. I will be adding these two equations. So what we'll get is twice of Sn, when Sn on the LHS part, when Sn and Sn gets added, so we'll get twice of Sn. Now look at first term and this term. So that means first term of both the sequences we need to focus on. So this is A plus n minus 1 into D. So we are getting twice of A plus n minus 1 into D. So this will be our first term of the result. Now look at the second term in both the equations. So this is A plus D, this is A plus n minus 2 into D. So we have a D over here and we have n minus 2D over here. So when n minus 2 gets added with 1, so it would be n minus 1 now. So we are getting n minus 1 into D, and since A and A are getting added again, so that would be twice of A. So now I can visualize that we are getting first term as this, second term as this, and if I look at the last case as well, we are getting the same result. So A plus n minus 1 D plus A would give me 2A plus n minus 1 into D. So since these are n number of terms, so this result of 2A plus n minus 1 into D will be appearing n number of times again. This result would be appearing n number of times again. So that means there is a question, let me explain in a different manner. So we have a 2 with us, and 2 is being added n number of times. 2 is being added n number of times. Or let us take a different example again. So if I have 2, if I have 10 2's with me, and if I add them up, so is it better to add them up individually, that is 2 plus 2 plus 2 10 times, or is it better to add 2 by multiplying the number, that is 10 into 2, right? If I add 10 2's, result would be 20. If I multiply 10 into 2, result would be 20. So likewise, I had n such terms with me. So if I, rather than adding individually, if I multiply n by this result, so that will give me the same result. So now we will get the result as twice Sn will be equal to n into 2A plus n minus 1 into D. So we have this as the result in all the terms, which is being coming n number of times. So we have multiplied n with this case. So now dividing both the equations by 2, we get Sn is equals to n by 2, 2A plus n minus 1 into D. So this is the formula for sum of n terms of an AP. This is the formula for sum of n terms of an AP, where A and D represents the first term and the common difference, and n is the number of terms that we are talking about. So for an example, if we are talking about 10 terms in an AP, we need to add those terms. So what we are basically trying to do is S of 10 will be equal to 10 by 2, 2A plus 10 minus 1 into D. So just replace the value of n by whatever the number of terms are present with us. Is that clear? Now I can again rearrange this formula. I can rearrange this formula and I can now write it as n by 2 a plus L, where L is the last term, that is L is equals to a plus n minus 1 into D. So nth term will be the last term if the series is finite. So nth term will be the last term as well. So I'm representing last term by L. So last nth term is given by a plus n minus 1 into E, which is the last term. So we had twice of a over here, so one a is left out and we are left out with other terms as a plus n minus 1 into D, which I have replaced by n. So we can use any of these two formulas depending upon the questions given to us. So let's move to different examples so that we can get our concept much better now. So find the sum of first 20 terms of an AP. Again, AP is given to us as 31, 27, 23 and so on. So we need to find the sum of first 20 terms. So let us write down what is A. A is 31. What is the common difference? So again, the common difference would be negative over here. So that would be equal to minus of 4. And now we will be using the formula for first 20 terms. So that would be given by 20 by 2, that is n by 2 into 2a plus 20 minus 1 into D. So that means 10 into 2a. So 2a, that means 2 into 31 plus 19 into minus of 4. That means 10 is equals to 62. 31 into 2 would be 62. 19 into 4 would be 76 with a negative sign. So that would be negative of 70. So that means we are getting results as minus of 14 inside the bracket. The final answer would be minus of 140. So minus sign over here represents that since it's a decreasing AP, so we are getting a result of the terms which yields to a negative number, that is minus of 14. So I hope this is the basic question that we have done is much clear to you now. You are clear with how to use the formula for sum of n number of terms of an AP as well. So we can have another example. So it says if the sum of first p terms of an AP is same as sum of first q terms, then find the sum of first p plus q terms. So it's a bit confusing. We have only one relationship with us and we need to find the result accordingly. So let's start up with whatever is given to us. It says sum of p terms is equal to sum of q terms. Okay, and then we need to find out sum of first p plus q term. So let us try to simplify this equation. I'm using the formula p by 2 would be equal to 2a plus p minus 1 into t. Since the formula was for n number of terms, right? N by 2, 2a plus n minus 1 into d. So now the number of terms are given to us as p. In the last case, what we have done is we need to solve the sum of first 20 terms. So we had replaced the value of n by 20. Now the question says sum of first p terms. So we will be replacing n by p. So p by 2, 2a plus p minus 1 into d is given as equals to 2 by 2, 2a plus q minus 1 into d. So now we will be opening the brackets. So since 2 and 2 will get cancelled out, then we will open the brackets. So we will have 2ap plus p square minus p into d equals 2aq plus q square minus q into d. So I will be transposing this 2aq terms on the LHS side and this d term on the RHS side, so that we have like terms together. So we have like terms together. So we have 2a so we will have 2ap minus of 2aq equals p square minus p into d with a negative sign, since this term is positive, so it will be moving on the RHS part, and this will remain as it is, q square minus q into d. So now I can take 2 common, so we will have p minus q with us. Okay, so now we have minus p square plus p plus q square minus q into d with us. This minus p gets minus sign gets multiplied inside, so we will have minus p square. This minus and minus becomes plus p of d plus q square minus q into d. So in the next step, I can say 2ap minus q. We will try to simplify the RHS part. So I can say q square minus p square together. I am taking q square minus p square together, and I am taking minus 1 common. So it will be q minus p whole into d. So now we can see this is a square minus b square identity, that is a plus b into a minus b. So let us try to move ahead. So we have negative 2a. I am taking negative sign common from this part, so that we have 2a q minus p with us being equal to this would be q plus p into q minus p. And we have negative of q minus p with us into d. So from the RHS part, can I take q minus p common? From the RHS part, I can take q minus p common. So we will have 2a q minus p on the LHS part with q minus p in the RHS part with q plus p minus 1 into d, right? So now we can cancel out q minus p. Can cancel out q minus p. So we will be left out with minus of 2a equals q plus p minus 1 into d. So that means we are getting a result 2a plus q plus p minus 1 into d equals 0. So we are getting a certain result. We don't know what we need to do with this result as of now. So let us go to the question again. Find the sum of first p plus q terms. Find the sum of first p plus q terms. So let us write down what we need to find out. We need to find out sum of p plus q terms. So that means p plus q by 2 into 2a plus p plus q minus 1 into d. So this is what we need to find out. So let us check from this last statement. So we are getting 2a plus q plus p minus 1 into d as 0, and this is what it is written over here. So that means we are getting a term which is 0. So if I multiply this term by 0, so we get s plus s p plus q. That means sum of p plus q terms as 0. So that would be our result. So the question was something like this: the sum of first p terms of the AP is same as sum of q terms. Then find the sum of first p plus q terms. So we need to check, since we are given only a single term to solve the question. So that means we need to find out something for the result, so that we are able to utilize this result for the given question. We are able to utilize this result for the given question. I hope this logic is much clear to you now. So let's move to another question. So an AP 4, 10, 16 up till 88 is given to us. Then find number of terms. So first question is find number of terms. Then second question is Sum of all terms, okay. Then how many terms should be taken so that sum exceeds 1? Okay, so let us try to solve A part first. So for A part, we should know what is the first term, that is 4. What would be the common difference? That would be 10 minus 4, which will be equal to 6. Now we need to find the number of terms. So that means we know the last term as well in this case. So Tn is given by A plus n minus 1 into d. So here the last term is given to us as 88. That is 4 plus n minus 1 into 6. So I'm transposing this 4. So it would be 84 equals n minus 1 into 6. Dividing both sides by 6 would give me the result as 84 by 6 equals n minus 1. That means n minus 1 is equals 14. So that means n would be equal to 15. So that means number of terms that we are talking about will be 15. So we have solved the first one correctly. So now let us go to find the sum of these 15 terms. We need to find the sum of these 15 terms. So we have gone through the formula, that is n by 2, and we are using this second formula over here, that is a plus l, because we have the last term over here. So that means 15 by 2, what is a? That is 4. What is l? That is 88. So 15 by 2 into 92. So 92 will get cancelled out by 2. That would be equal to 46, and that would be equal to 690. So that would be the result of B part. We need to find the sum of all terms. So first of all, we solve for the sum of number of terms, then we solve for the sum of those terms. Now the third question is a bit different. It says how many terms should be taken so that sum exceeds 120. So it's now saying we do not know the number of terms, but we need to find the result such that the sum exceeds 120. So that means we need to find the value of m so that n exceeds 120. So let us write down the formula. N by 2, 2a plus n minus 1 into d should be greater than 120. So we had a with us as 4 and d with us as 6. So this would be 2 into 4 plus n minus 1 into 6 should be greater than 120. So if I divide this 2 inside, so we will have n is equals to 4 plus n minus 1 into 3. I hope this step is clear. So we are dividing this 2 inside these terms. Okay. So we have n as 4 plus 3n minus 3 greater than 120. So n multiplied by 3n plus 1 would be greater than 1. So now let us check for, since we need to find such value of n which has to be result in greater than 120. So let us check for n equals 6. Let us check for n equals 6. So that would be 6 into 18 plus 1 being greater than 120. So what is 6 into 19? That is 114. That means it is not greater than 120. So we can't take n equals 6. So that means we are very near to 120 because we are getting 114 as the result. So let us take n equals 7. So we will have 7 into 21 plus 1 greater than 120. Yes, 7 into 22 is 154, which is definitely greater than 120. So therefore number of terms that are required to yield the result of sum greater than 120 would be 7. So if we add 7 such terms, we'll get result greater than 120. Okay. So I hope that is clear to you. Moving ahead, selection of terms and AP. So this is a very good concept again. So there are a few questions being asked in the CBSE papers as well as in the other exams related to this term. So selection of terms of an AP is an important concept. So let us take the first case of odd number of terms. So if we have 3 terms, we need to select terms in such a manner that when we add these 3 terms, the second variable gets cancelled out. So if I add these three terms, d and d will cancel out, and we will be left out with only one variable with us. Okay, that would be a. So how we are calculating this three terms? So let us mark a as the first term, and then divide 2. Then divide, since we are talking about three terms, so let us a mark the first term, and then we are left out with two terms. So divide them by 2, we'll get result as 1. So that result helps me out to find that after a there will be a one term, before a there will be a one term. So that would be a minus d, a plus d. For 5 terms, what we need to do is, if a would be the one term, and now we are left out with 4 terms. 4 terms has to be divided by 2, so we'll be left over with 2 terms. So that means after a there will be 2 terms, before a there will be 2 terms. So that means a minus d, a minus 2d. So now what we need to check is, in case of odd number of terms, the common difference between two terms has to be d. Common difference between two terms has to be d. Now if I need to find the general result of 2r plus 1, so 2r means a multiple of 2, that means even number, plus 1, so that means we are talking about odd number of terms. So again, 1 will be the first, a will be the one term, and then we are left out with 2r terms. We have utilized 1 as a, we are left out with 2r terms, so divide 2r by 2, that means r terms. So r terms can be written on the left hand side of a, and r terms can be written on the right side of the a. So that means a minus rd, then so on up till a minus d, a plus d, up till a plus rd. So let us take an example for such a case. So it is given that sum of three numbers in an AP is 12, and their sum of squares is 56. So now this is a case of three numbers. So let numbers in AP be a minus d, a, and a plus d. So we have three numbers with us which are in AP. So now we need to add them up. A minus d plus a plus a plus d. That would give me result as 12. So we have price of a, because d and d gets cancelled out. So we will be left out with a as 4. We will be left out with a as 4. Now according to question, second statement is sum of the squares is 56. That means a minus d square plus a square plus of a plus d square is 56. So let us try to open the brackets. A square plus d square minus 2ad plus a square plus a square plus d square plus 2ad equals 56. So we can see 2ad and 2ad gets cancelled out. So we are left out with thrice a square plus twice d square equals 56. Equals 56. So now we have the value of a with us, that is 3 into 4 square, 3 into 4 square plus twice d square equals 56. So this is 16 into 4, 16 into 3, that would be 48. So 2d square plus 48 equals 56. So 2d square would be equal to 56 minus of 48, that would be 8. So d square would be equal to 4 after division by 2, and then after taking the square root we will get a result as plus minus. We will get a result as plus minus 2. So now we have value of d with us, that is plus minus 2. So now we can put the values of a and d. So now we are getting d as, we are getting two values of d. So we'll take two cases when d is plus of 2. So we have a minus d, a and a plus d. Numbers are a minus d, a and a plus d. So we have value of a, that is 4, value of d as plus 2. So that is 4 minus 2, 4, 4 plus 2. So the numbers would be 2, 4 and 6. Second case, if d is minus of 2, the result would be 4 minus of minus 2, 4, 4 minus 2. So that is 6, 4, 2. So that means since d is negative, it's a decreasing AP. Since d is positive, it is an increasing AP. So the numbers can be of form 246 or 642. So I hope this question solves your query. So now similarly we will solve for, okay. Likewise we will solve on selection of terms of an AP. Selection of terms of an AP when we have even number of terms. So the for four terms, a minus 3d, a minus d, a plus d, and a plus 3d. So we need to check there is a difference of 2d terms in case of even numbers. So similarly for 6 terms, it will be a minus 5d, a minus 3d, a minus d, a plus d, a plus 3d, and a plus 5d. So basically whatever is happening is, if I'm writing 4, so that means we are writing a d less than 4, so that is a minus 3d. And if I'm writing 6 number of terms, that means a minus 5d. So that means if I'm writing 2r number of terms, so it would be a minus 2r minus 1 2r minus 1 into d up till a plus 2r plus 1. So let us again try to solve a question. So it says sum of 4 numbers in AP is 20. So let us have the numbers as a minus 3d, a minus d, a plus d, and a plus 3d. So sum of 4 numbers in an AP. So if I add these 4 numbers, d and d will cancel out. So we will have 4 of a equals 20, which implies a will be equal to 5. Now it says sum of their squares. So that means a minus 3d whole square, a minus d whole square, a plus d whole square, and a plus 3d whole square is equals 120. So now open the brackets. A square plus 9d square minus 6ad plus a square plus d square. We will have a negative ad over here, minus twice of ad. I'm writing this third term downwards. So we will have a square plus d square plus twice ad plus a square plus 9d square plus 6ad equals 120. So again what we can see is we had 6ad and 6ad getting cancelled out. We are getting 2ad and 2ad getting cancelled out. So we will be left out with 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we will be left out with 4a square, 9 plus 110 plus 111 plus 920. 20d square equals 120. I can take 4 common as well. So we'll get a square plus 5d square equals how much? This would be 30. So let's replace the value of a. Let's replace the value of a by 5. So we will have 25 plus 5d square equals 30. So now 25 will be transposed on the RHS part. So it would be 5d square equals 5. That means d square equals 1. That means d will be equal to plus minus 1. So case 1, when d is positive 1, so we have value of a as 5. So a minus 3 into 1. A, we have, so we have a, that is 5. So we have a equals 5 and d as 1. So 5 minus 3, 5 minus 1, 5 plus 1, and 5 plus 3. So we will have our first sequence as 2, 4, 6, and 8. So case 2, when we had d as minus of 1, a as 5, so it would be 5 minus of minus 3, 5 minus of minus 1, 5 minus 1, and 5 minus 3. So that would be 8, 6, 4, and 2. So this is how we will get our result. So I hope this concept is clear to you and you will be able to solve such types of questions with much ease now. So that's all for today's session. Thank you and wish you all the best.